Hi, and welcome back to the second episode of CPS Chats. I'm Audrey Roloff. With Halloween coming up, I decided to take a look into one of the local haunted houses here in Columbia. Stilo's Curse is a haunted house created by senior Nick Palmer. Nick, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So I just wanted to ask you a few more questions about the haunted house on this show to go off of the story that I've already done.
Okay.
So I was wondering, what type of supplies do you usually get for a haunted house this big? Since you start in the spring and go all the way to Halloween, what are all the supplies that you get and the types of materials that you have for a haunt like this?
Well, we usually get a lot of different things. We start building the haunted house around March, so that's whenever we, in the middle of March is whenever there's the big trade show in St. Louis, which is where we buy a lot of our stuff. It's like stuff you can't really buy in a store or anything. But other than that, going to the hardware store, buying wood to make panels and walls, and also just ordering stuff online like fabric and different types of makeup and bloods and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, that's about it.
And so what is your favorite part of haunted houses just in general, through all the ones you've been through? Because I know that you've gone through a lot of haunted houses. So what is the one thing that stands out to you in a haunted house?
I really just like the detail of things. If a haunted house can, pull off a really realistic set that makes you feel that you're actually in the environment, then that's really good. Because I like to look around and stuff because it's not really very easy for me to get spooked because I've been doing this for so long. So whenever I can look at stuff that looks really pretty and nice, then it's really nice to see stuff like that. And that's what I try to go for. It's just realism.
Awesome, yeah, I agree. That adds a lot to it. And so you also have a ton of actors that are in this haunt, obviously, to scare people. And so how do you come up with the different characters that you want in the haunted house and all of the characters that go along with your
It really just comes with whatever the theme is of the scene, which all of our scenes really come together because I wouldn't want it to be one room is just completely different from the next room you walked in. When you go through this one, it's it's all collective, and it'll seem all together like its own storyline. The whole thing is its own storyline, and just whatever room that we have, I'll just put an actor in that I think depending on how tall or short they are or anything like that. Just whatever fits the spot and whatever I think that they could do verbally. Some actors don't even have to talk, but there's some scenes where the actors have to talk, so it just depends on the person.
And what are a few of the characters in this haunt this year?
We have a scene where you go into, it's like a autopsy room, and it's like a rotten old autopsy room, and there's a bunch of maggots all over the wall. And we got this silicone mask at the trade show, and it looks like a giant maggot, so it's just like this giant maggot creature coming at you.
Awesome. And so how long does it take to go through your haunted house all the way through?
I'd say maybe 10 or 15 minutes, depending on how fast or slow you're going. Usually people aren't running because it's, there's rules and it says not to run, so just anywhere between 10, 15 minutes because, there's it's just a lot of different, corridors, I guess, and a lot of tight hallways that you have to push through, and there's a lot of rooms that you're going to go into, and it's going to be, you're not going to really be able to understand where you're going at first, so you're going to have to figure out your way out of certain rooms because of the disorienting lights and things hanging.
Awesome. And so when and where is this haunted house, and how are people going to know about it? How have you publicized this?
The haunted house is at my house, which is 1314 Bradshaw Avenue. It's off Fairview. And really the way I've been letting people know is just social media. That's a really big thing for haunted houses now. I actually took a class on it at the trade show in St. Louis. And basically just getting through to people all over the place and paying for advertising on Facebook and stuff gets a lot of people. And Snapchat works a lot now that Snapchat's kind of a big thing. I haven't really done Twitter stuff because I haven't really gotten on my Twitter in a long time, so I don't know.
And so what days are the haunted houses, and what times can people come?
We open this Friday, the 27th, from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. And then on Tuesday the 31st, which is Halloween, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. And then we're closed. We're not open on Saturday. I'm always scared that someone, like a bunch of people, are just going to show up on Saturday and be like knocking at my door and stuff.
Well, now that you guys know, do not come on Saturday. And I wanted to thank you so much for coming into the studio.
Yep.
Now here's a further look into Stilo's curse.
The Halloween spirit has taken over Columbia, Missouri this year and won't disappoint. There are few haunted houses offered around Columbia. However, Hickman senior Nick Palmer is changing the game.
When I was a kid, back when I used to live in Oklahoma, I went through a haunted house in an amusement park in Oklahoma City, and I thought it was really cool, and I thought that I saw stuff in there, it spooked me because I was so young, but I just thought that I wanted to make people feel, the way that I did in there, because I thought it was, it was kind of cool to put people in a state of mind that was, kind of scary and put them out of reality for a little bit. And I moved to Missouri when I was 8 years old, and I went to Fear Fest Haunted House in 3rd grade, because that was the year I went here. I was 8 years old, and I thought it was super wild, and, it freaked me out. So I wanted to do my own haunted house in my garage.
Massive amounts of hard work go into the production of Stilo's Curse, so dedication is vital to making the haunted house successful.
We start in spring for the last 2 or 3 years. We started in spring, just because a lot of haunted houses start a little later than that. But I like to. The reason I like to start early is because it gives me more time to look around at everything and make sure everything's perfect, so it's not just rushed and just looks not very good. And this year we started extra early because we went to the trade show in St. Louis called Transworld.
Production isn't the only important part of Stilo's Curse. Actors, props, electronics, and special effect makeup completes the haunted house. Carrie Harbor, a junior at Hickman, has an interest in special effect makeup and is able to share that in Stilo's Curse.
This has definitely influenced my future because I started doing gore makeup about 3 years ago, and I stopped about a year ago after the last year's haunt. Now being inside of this haunted house again, it's definitely rejuvenated my passion for all gore makeup.
This is the biggest year for Stilo's Curse and the most expensive. One-of-a-kind props and materials are used to make everything look realistic, and all of the money spent is from the crew's own pockets. That's impressive for high schoolers.
Altogether, since Transworld, the collective of all of us, it's about $6,000 on everything in here, and we've been just getting everything set up, and it seems like a lot of money, but doing things like this and making it look professional, that's not very much, because most professional haunted houses are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a year.
We all talk about spending money. Spending money could go towards anything, but we want to spend it towards the haunt just so that it goes farther and farther. And we're hoping next year we can actually go to a pro level where we get our business license and we actually have a building like Necropolis or Fear Fest or an area where we can build so that people can come through and actually see what a real haunt looks like in Columbia.
Overall, Stilo's Curse will amaze and surprise those that attend and hopefully continue on in the future.
That's it for this episode of CPS Chats. I'm Audrey Roloff, and we'll see you next time.